I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but
Gee, George, you're real smart, aren't you, George?
Destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Shame on you, George. You're just trying not to get me a mouth, George. If you make me angry, I'll do mean things to you, George, like I'll stroke your fur the wrong way. Like this.
About a fish story.
Yeah.
Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah.
As Bud said, the rendezvous was absolutely beautiful. They came up from below absolutely as if they were riding on rails.
Alone, 45 miles above the moon's surface, Michael Collins completed an orbit every 2 hours. He listened to the progress of the moonwalk and awaited the moment when his companions on the surface would lift off to rendezvous with him.
Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah.
From below absolutely as if they were riding on rails.
Not a robot, George. I shall have to punish you good.
We had a problem on one of our spacewalks where we were trying to unfold a beam that supports some lights on the outside of space station. A beam that supports some lights on the outside of space station. The hammers we tend to have on the NASA side of the space station might be something that a jeweler would use to repair a watch, you know, a very precise little dainty hammer that you could do precision pounding with.
I will name him George, and I will hug him and pet him and squeeze him.
But that wasn't going to get this piece of machinery free from its stuck state. And so we borrowed this Russian hammer, and we went out on our spacewalk with this big hammer, and we had permission to start beating on this piece of spaceflight hardware.
And again, this is the hardware that when it's on the ground, you have to treat it with gloves on. Literally, you have to handle it with gloves. And so we were out there with this hammer beating on this stanchion, and it finally broke loose, and we were able to put it in its final and useful configuration.
Hey, Spike, how about we chase cars, huh? Does that sound like fun? Yeah, that wouldn't be no fun. How about beating up a cat? Would you like that, Spike? Huh? Would you like that, huh, Spike?
Cat? You know where is it, a cat?
Whilst in space.
From Mark Cameron. This is from Mark Cameron.
Whilst in space.
Stop calling me George. My name's Sylvester.
But I can't say Sylvester, George.
Whilst in space.
From Mark Cameron. This is from Mark Cameron.
Hello, everybody. Everybody has their own version of the difference between the words while and whilst. And some say there are no differences at all.
Whilst in space. Have you ever looked away from Earth into the black void?
Gee, George, you're real smart, aren't you, George?
Yeah, real smart.
Goody, goody, George. Let's go in and get me a mouse to have for my very own. I will hug him and pet him and pet him. George is my friend.
Yeah.
All
because
the
you can
time.
see. Because you can see the stars.
Oh yeah.
You know, and pretty much all the time you can see the stars.
Yeah. It's not
which
a
is
black
cool
void.
thing.
I mean, it's black, but there's all kinds of little polka dots.
There's all the stars there, and the cool thing is about it, you can see it during the day.
I don't remember seeing any.
And when we catch a mouse, can I have one for my very own George to love him and pet him, George?
I don't remember seeing any.
Will you, George? Will you, George? Will you let me help you catch mice? Will you, George? Will you, George?
Yeah, you can, and there's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moons.
You see the gas Magellan clouds of the
you
Milky Way
see
galaxy.
the Magellanic clouds.
Magellanic. See, I just wanted the Magellan
well, there's a large
clouds.
one
I didn't
and
want
a
to
small one, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't remember seeing any.
And then you can see the zodiacal lights.
Whoa.
I don't remember seeing any.
Gosh, it's awful dark in here. I will light me a candle to see where I'm going at.
About being able to look into the black void is that we can't do that when the sun is out here on Earth. And it's not because the sun is so bright. It's because this atmosphere, right? The light comes through the atmosphere and refracts, and we see blue. It's scattered. We see blue. So what we see is we see the blue color because the way the light gets bent was only the low scattered, but it's the wavelength of the light that penetrates.
over lambda to the 4.
Right, that's the blue light. So blue light is what, the low wavelength or the high wavelength?
Low wavelength.
Okay, so only the low wavelength.
Yeah, the short wavelengths get scattered.
And that's why we see blue.
More than the low wavelength.
Stop it, you knucklehead!
I'm sorry, George.
That is from my proprioceptive devices that tell me my body position even though I'm not looking at it. And those things, when you're in a weightless environment, get all messed up.
You understand?
Yes, I do, George. I understand real good.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
La dejé amarrar, tal como me lo dijo, la tiré, le puse un palo. Dice, llego a la cocina, eran las 2:30 de la noche. Risita, ¿qué la has hecho? Allí ya está, jefe. Ya, pues acuéstate, que mañana a las 8 te llamo para que vayas a recoger la paellera. Y me acuesto en su, ya para abrir el restaurante que era el arroz. Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador, en las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea.